Yes. Peace and blessings, everybody. They like doing construction in my neighborhood, so it's probably going to be a little noisy. That's why I got this little earpiece or whatever. Maybe it could, you know, suppress some of the noise. Well, let me fix this back up. We're going to be discussing purification. You know, it's a very important topic, and I want to thank my friend Latoria for bringing that subject matter up because, you know, she said to speak on it, and that's what we're going to talk about. And I'm going to talk about it from many angles so we understand what the process of purification is. And at the end, we'll break it down in layman terms or just make it understandable for, you know, regular modern time. But to understand purification, it's like to say it is too hard for you to do it. But for you to do it now, it's actually a whole different thing. Oh snap! What's good in the ethers? Yes, what's good, Quael? Everything good, everything good. You know, back in the ethers again, back. It's painful. You know, I'm pushing, man, because putting on some weight. I put on a couple pounds to, you know, get everything looking good for YouTube, everything. So with that, you vibrate at a new frequency now. Every ounce, every gram you put on, your vibratory frequency change. You know, and with it changing your chakras change. You know what I'm saying? Your nadis close up. You know, you have to reopen them. You know, that's why you always see a lama or Buddhist, they always meditating. You don't just see them meditate once or do yoga once and then they're here the rest of their life and they could just chill, go eat and don't exercise and do whatever they want. No, it's just to sustain yourself. So it becomes a part of you. And you will see that keeps you here as immortal. It keeps you young. It keeps you healthy. It actually regenerates back your cells. It replenishes back your magnetic field. It sets the wave. Good morning, Raven and Danica James, Grand Rising. It sets the magnetic field and the wave that we're in back to its actual vibratory frequencies where you're supposed to be vibrating at, which would be your regular BMI. If you look at your BMI, it gives you a perfect example of where you're supposed to be at with your weight and everything. But now, you know, with the BMI, it's hard to retain it with the foods we're eating today. Grand Rising, Guzzo TG. Yes, peace and blessings. So that's why it's purification is on all levels, and that's the importance of it because of the way we've been actually being fed nowadays. It's not actually right, and so if we don't understand how purification works, we wind up going to be a glutton to bad health and kill ourselves. We're going to be the execution of ourselves, and all they're doing is going to be offering to us. So when we talk in purification, it's also disciplining. Disciplining from what we was raised up to, like what we always thought it was right to eat. You know, like our ancestors, I mean our immediate family. We never call ancestors our family. Don't never, I don't, you know, I'm giving y'all Enki science or what how the Egyptians look at it when they had their separation between gods, meanies, demions, heroes, humans. Yes, the Lando, peace and blessings. They actually had ancestors as the spirit, the elemental spirit. So those is who I refer to when I say ancestors. And so when we're talking about genetic ancestors, that's a different one, you know. But you know, our genetic ancestors, they used to eat the chitlins and the hog mogs and the collard green and the sweet candy yams, and they thought they was right. They thought they was living right. And you know, in actuality, that's what the slave master was giving the pigs. That became our food. That's what the pigs ate. You know, that was the slop. They cooked it and gave it to the animals. That's the slaves didn't even get that at first. But then that became their food when shit got low on food. So we got to understand what we consider our cultural food was really not what it was back then when they intentionally gave it to us. So once you learn what you are, you know, that's the journey to purification, that you're a being, not a human being, and your body don't run off of food. It runs off of light. It makes your journey easy. Like you know you're more consciousness and energy than you are a physical biochemistry. And so you wouldn't seek out your definition of power, nutrients, getting better, healing through a food and mineral, any type of thing outside yourself, because that's what you don't know actually the effects it's having internally on you and the biochemistry combustion of chemicals. We don't know what's the result, but we will say that eating this is great and eating that is going to do this for me and eating this is going to do that for me. Well, that renders you to believe that, and once you believe it, that's you doing placebo medicine on yourself. It's actually you heal yourself by believing you're healed. You actually encompass that part of your cells or magnetic field to regenerate itself. And so you would want to do that naturally without using food. And only source of substance you would need is light, light in the sun. Now the sun it works in a two-part way. It's a dual sword because if you go in the sun and spend time in the sun is actually going to suck all your energy. You're going to feel drained. You're going to feel weak. You're like, wait a minute, I thought it's supposed to energize me like Birdman or something. But actually, I'm getting weak. I feel tired afterwards. Well, this is because the sun regenerates your astral body, your emotional body, your casual body, your mental body, your ethereal body. It's like taking all your immediate food you ate, converting it into actual energy, and then sending it up to the top bodies, and they trickle down like how your aura is like a rainbow, and you receive it a few days later, but you receive it now in your magnetic field. It makes you now glow. It makes you have an energy that if you're not in the sun doing what you're doing, you could run all day, you could do whatever all day, you're never tired, you don't need no food, you don't want no sleep. So it's like you pay, you sacrifice an immediate loss of energy to give your other bodies energy so that they could replenish back whatever is out of place, blocked up, or whatever the case may be in your body, which you will be the receiver of it, which is actually a form of how we first learned we was immortal and that there is a higher us. And so, the Indians more practice that with the sun and their different methods of using it to sustain themselves. But we're going to actually use it to purify ourselves because the sun helps you leave your body. When you look into the sun, you're not looking into a physical thing. You actually can't take it physically, and you leave your body consciously, and your soul comes in. The soul could see into the sun, just like you could physically see into darkness. For you to see shapes, forms, these things, it has to be darkness, shadows. When you look into the sun, you don't see nothing. And so your soul comes in and take that. Okay? So what they got is saying the soul, what's darkness to the soul is light and to us, and what's light to the soul is darkness to us. That's how it really works. All right, now let's get into this purification. You know, the purification process itself is reason for coming into being is because a long time ago, before the Big Bang came into play, we actually was one. We was all one into one sphere, one force, one energy. And this one energy, it had manifested itself or started having separation within itself. And so when we started coming into what we call consciousness, separation came more and became more dense. With it being more dense, you get a closed body or you get a physical body, but you also now have the other pre-physical that comes down in the form of atoms, neutrons, electrons, cells, quakes, strings. These is what's the in-between that create this cellular network that we have. So in it, as you could say, your whole consciousness. But now as you become physical, it's a journey that becomes through for you to get to the body. Like say you was an embryo in the womb, or the woman is about to get pregnant. A soul comes down through dimensions, throughout many solar systems, many worlds, and while it's coming down, beings, entities attach itself to it to help give it a physical form for it to calcify and light into the womb. So on the journey of the soul, which is called the natal chart or the birth chart, yes, Tahad, I'll talk about silence and solitude too, no problem. I got you covered. Um, it's all part of the journey because once you realize that you come down through the our solar system, this is the soul. Once you reach our solar system, you pick up different attribute from the different planets. That's why they have the 9 planets and their influences on you, or the 12 zodiac and its influences on you, because you wear them as overcoats. This will give you your jealousy, your envy, your lust, your pride. You as a soul don't have that. It's not something in you. It's something that's attached to you in your aura. It's attached to you that you have to release yourself from. This is what's called purification. So as the soul enters this dimension, it has to wear these attributes, which is to hold it down. So you come out, as you come into the womb, the soul falls asleep unconscious, become the harem abyss. And the 3 executioners, which is jealousy, love, envy, and hate, awakens as the murderer of him, which is you yourself. Now you wake up survival mode. You're not actually yourself no more. That pure soul that don't need a form, energy source, something to grab onto, anything. You was pure. But now that you wake up, you're kind of scared, nervous. Fear is the first thing that come over. So we have to feed through somebody feeding us. We see now with eyes, and we have to identify things. So we become this being, this unconscious being that become programmed to whatever society says. You eventually first learn you have a mother, a father. You learn trust, and these all different opening parts of yourself. These is what's called chakras. Like when baby first adult chakras, and you have your first perception chakras. The first perception chakras, like for a child, when they first chakra open, they have a sense of who their parents is. And I'm talking about a baby by the smell, by the what they hear. They would know the difference between the mother before, probably, I mean, not even with their opening up their eyes, just within their first. That's when their first chakra open, their sense chakra, to know their parents. And as more time goes on, their second chakra open, like around about 2, 3 years old, where you see a neighbor might come to the house, or a friend come to the house, and your child run behind your leg and grab your leg and look at them from behind your leg, because now they know a sense of possession of who their parents is and who their home is, and they know the difference between like a outsider. This is the second chakra open. So they go through their own chakra open until their crown chakra open, which just bursts them back down and unconsciously shoots them, because we have schooling come by the second chakra opening, and programming from the parents telling them how to live. But before those two, they're being guided by spirits. That's why the kids always see things. They was one with what we see here, ether. What we call air that is invisible, it's not invisible. If you believe it's invisible, keep staring over here and tell me what's going on over here. Look at this, this thing here I'm saying. Just keep staring at it, and you tell me if air is invisible. Something going on there that always there. But now, once you realize there is another world, and there is more that the kids are seeing, you can't imagine in this dimension you're in. When we say dimension, there's 3 parts to it. You're in a third dimension. So in it is a one-dimensional world, a two-dimensional world, and what we call this world that makes it stand up to make it three-dimensional, which gives it the 1 and 2 a new thing. But those 1 and 2 dimensions still exist. The kids see them, everybody see them, animals see them. That creates this three-dimensional world. And so now with that in mind, you understand that at second chakra, you're being imposed upon now. Your second chakra is going to get closed back down, because through programming, school and parental views, and telling you what you are and who you are, shut your chakras back down, and now you fall back asleep into the harem abyss and become unconscious and become a program with what society say. With that, you lose your senses. So now, as these things happen, usually unconscious, you just go and go get a job, go do what society say, be like your parents. You raise kids now after them, and so we continue to do this cycle that keeps the system going. But then eventually something happens and you evolve through stress, trauma. Somehow something kicks inside of you, and you question everything and say, who am I? What's my purpose here? What am I doing here? And these things, when these come up in your life, It's you left a zone of what's called your survival mode. At first, you was in survival mode, like the child whose belly's hungry, his eyes is closed. He's just looking for something to suck on. He's just in survival mode. Then, as he mature more, a stranger give him something. He's not going to take it if it's not his parents, even if he's hungry. So you see the differences. Once you get out of survival mode, paying your rent, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do this. You start questioning who you are. This now starts the process towards not just learning who you are, what you are, and actually now make you want to look towards being who you are and what you are. And that's the process of purification. So with that in mind now, real quick, so we could get into it, because I just wanted to give you a general history of why purification is important. Just that beginning process to how you got here. You have something to remember. It's not something that you have to be taught. You can't teach nobody in this world. When they say you're being taught, you actually remembering something, because that's all you could do in this dimension. Everything is already in you. You're in an Akashic records. You're in an etheric energy. Everything is here at your disposal, but these sheaths or spheres block us out from our own hearing, our own listening. That's why they say, for those that can see, see, and those that can hear, hear. Because it's right there. What's the difference between the one that can't see and can't see? Can see. And you will see that it's their perception. And that's what this is about. Purification is about fixing your perception of reality and not seeing it through somebody else's eyes. You know, looking at it through somebody else's eyes. These headphones was created by somebody's thoughts. This mirrors was created. Everything in your reality was created by somebody's thoughts. You're living in a thought. You understand? So once you realize you're living in a thought, that's when you start realizing you could create your own reality too. You could be the thought that makes all that come together. But how could you do it if you don't know how and wasn't taught how? Somehow you have to learn there is a way to do it mathematically, scientifically, and this is what you want to learn through purification. Purification is getting rid of the false sense of the illusion, the imagination, and just know your environment. Like if you was in Alaska, you wouldn't be in Alaska in shorts and no shirt on. You would have on a coat, a hoodie, a snorkel, whatever. And then say I put you in Florida on the beach in Miami. You won't be there with the snorkel hoodie on. You will have on your shorts. So you will have to know the difference in your environment and how it plays out. You will see you stand out if you're down there in Miami with the snorkel and hoodie on. But we don't see that's what we're doing when we're living out our life. We just like that. It's just we don't see it because we think it's normal. So and now finding your true self, that's what it's going to show you that you're the Eskimo in Miami with the snorkel on the beach. Same thing like the movie Lion King. That's what they're trying to tell you, you know. But you have to first want to learn it. It's something that's a desire inside of you. For you to want it, that's when you become your true self. Adapt to the environment, shapeshift. That's right, Krista. You have to be able to do it. Now, let's go into the purification process itself. What is it? Well, purification is reminding you now, like I said, you're remembering. It's a process of remembering. But how could you remember if you're always being distracted? If you're seeing it like how your friend is seeing it, if you're seeing it from what they're telling you on YouTube, if you're seeing it from how they say it is on TV, that become your perspective. Even just your friend suggesting something to you becomes your perspective now. We take in electrons, it's these vibrations that come, and it actually reprograms us to see it. Whatever it's called the observer theory in quantum physics. What you observe and expect is what is going to be the expected outcome because that's what you expect. That's why the law of observation in quantum physics was never a true law because they notice what the person is doing the experiment, that the result of the experiment is determined by the actual person who's doing it and what their intentions are. So with knowing that, they learn that the universe actually is what you expect to be is what you're going to see. What you expect to get is what you're going to get. So you will have to change your whole perception of that so that you won't fall to that law because it is a law. And the universal law is not being taught. So once you learn the universal law, certain negative things you have to delete out you. Like if it's a bad compulsive habit, just a negative thought fucks up your whole reality. That's why a lot of people bombard you with negativity on TV, their problems, this and that, because you're creating their reality. It's called the scapegoat, And so if you're not conscious of this, then you don't know what energy exchanges, why we separate ourselves, why the Jews don't mix with people, why the Essenes didn't mix, why the Africans didn't mix. Everybody had a certain energy, and if you mix, you become unconscious very easily. When modern society is unconscious of this and we feel we're one melting pot, we're one people, and we've transgressed into what we are today, which make us null or void of our spirituality, of our soul, of our different aspects of ourselves that not only do exist, and some of us call it dreams, a whole bunch of stuff, but it actually terrorizes other people on the spiritual level, and we don't know it. By you being unconscious and all happy, how you get these things that make you happy? Something has to play out, even though you can't see it, to create these things. So a lot of people in happiness is spiritually attacking other people to get what they need and for things to work out for them and not deserving it. You could go buy yourself a mansion, a castle with the money you worked and got. But to earn it, it has to be given to you. You have to get it because you earned it. And so a lot of people is fake out here because they got things that ain't truly them. You got people fronting, then niggas got cars, all these things. Then you get home and they be the most grotesque ass. Hello, Mystique 111. You know what it is. That's the magic number. They ain't pure in themselves. That's the process of purification. You want what you see. You want the truth. And so you don't want to see the physical form. You want to see the soul of a person. That would be part of the purification process, changing your perspective of how you see a person. Don't ever look at the what they look like. Don't look at what they say. You actually just see beyond them. You have to know the nature. And this is what purification is about, knowing nature itself. And the nature of everybody is the same nature. And let me give you an idea of what nature is. Nature is the hidden secret within yourself, the raw armor, the invisible one. You don't even know why you do what you do, but your nature will show it. You understand? That's why they try to summarize it as you could tell the fruits of by the fruits the tree bear. A good fruit only make good. A good tree only make good fruits, and a bad tree only make bad fruit. That has a true underlying meaning if you could study the nature of things. And once you know the nature of things, it's like learning magic. It's this way it's a science in itself. And so when you know the nature, only way nature will work for you is if you're pure, you're honest, you're true. And so then everything just work through your chakras. It ain't you doing it. It's just them working through you because you ain't blocked up or have a misconception about reality. You see it for its pureness, so that energy on you is on the same level. But once you have a misconception, your vibratory frequency will put you on the level of animals, plants, the water, air. You got to realize certain things use different things. You could vibrate at the frequency that a spirit or an entity could be for an animal as a vitamin. And it comes to you and attack you because you're vibrating at a frequency of an animal. And that's what's happening to a lot of people that keep them unconscious, keep them at a low frequency. So let's do regular purification. How could we start in modern time? The first thing you want to do is come to these self-realization that it's more to you than what they're saying. You having dreams, astral visions, coincidences, a whole bunch of alignment, or it's just an inner spirit talking to you and guiding you since this 2017, 2014, movement is just an overwhelming urge to just want to know more and be conscious. It is the conscious movement. So with that in mind, that's the start of your purification. But now, in our time, purification would have been a ritual that was done in Africa, where at 10 to 8 years old, they take the son, the child, away from the mother because he's being raised under the mother's guidance until that age. And then he goes through a ritual to make him a man. and then he's brought back home to his people. So it's a form that was the first form of purification, and by then he had to live by certain standards because he's considered a man. His word was of everything, and if he carried himself a certain way, he'll move up as his word and his integrity stands to probably even being chief of the community or a judge presiding in the community. And this was all from the savage age. They had all these systems in place. So don't think that this wasn't like this. It was before the flood. All that was in place prior to that, and they still had it in society. Zulu practiced it, and many tribes practice it. So once you understand these integrities and what is associated with you, purification now in this modern time in the city still applies in the same way. You have to leave what your parent made of you and following their culture to actually see who you are, the individual person you are, accept these sides of you. When we're talking about see who you are, you have to be your worst critic. It's only you have to study yourself to make yourself be the truth, or else it's going to see the world from a misconception. And the world is only, like I said, through quantum physics, showing you back what you expect to see. So, and somehow you have to clear your thoughts, have no thought, be thoughtless, and be the God you are. Be the action that you are. You're just an action. And spend your time in the moment more. Once you're in the moment, you will be conscious. Being in the moment means to be conscious. But if you're pondering here, thinking you're this, expecting this to happen, your spheres is all over. They're not aligned like a whole bunch of circles, like Sonic going through his circles. That's you. The consciousness is the circle. You look through your DNA. Somebody Google DNA top view and look at what your DNA look like. It look like the flower of life. It's for real. And it's a tube that has a blue light shooting through it. If you see my video with my eyes that I just did, is the reptilian shaman eyes, that's like the end of your DNA. It's a light there. It's infrared that you can't see it. Your naked eye can't see it, but your eye is blasting out light, blasting out light. It's one with the universe. This was teaching now how you leave, how subatomic particles come back in and out. It's also telling you this is one end of your DNA and this is the other end of your DNA. It's a very true thing with everything going to the heart chakra. The heart chakra makes the toroidal field that make a centrifugal field that makes everything come together and hold you in your own gravitational field. That's why you have your own identity. So you will see most of now what you're going to go through as a young adult. Let's move up to now 16, 17 years old. Is more rebellious towards your parents, not in the sense you want to kill your parents and you hate your parents. Although at that age some will feel that way, but you just want to get away because now that third chakra and the throat chakra start opening up for those who was rebellious against school, education, even how their parents raised them. Their throat chakra and heart chakra start opening up. So now they become rebellious towards their parent for individuality. That's the key word because your parent now start imposing on you too much. It's a program. You're being programmed. They don't, this gets deeper. Why you have to do this? Don't think that the Satan and the devil and all that don't exist. This is the program that acts out in everybody, every human being, and they don't know what they do. That's why you gotta know the nature. This is the wisdom of Solomon. I tell you, the Solomon ring and how Solomon moved, you have to know these things. Once you know how the beast move, you will see him in every human being. It's just like that movie, Falling with Denzel Washington. He could touch anyone who's unconscious. That's why the conscious stay away from the unconscious because they're touched by many. And they could be touched at anyone because it's after you. It don't have nothing to do with the individual. Never blame the individual. It's a spirit that is doing that over them. And you have to help them to not be so susceptible to shit like the Zodiac. Think about it. If the Zodiac is predicting what you're going to do, you're an animal. It's animals, and it's telling you what the animal self do. The lower self is going to get for the day. You don't want to be predictable in your Zodiac. The same thing. And information is coming in like crazy right now. That's right, Mystique. That's what's up, y'all. Now, we're being all this way now. you get to realize that the sides to you is subject to different spheres. Let's I don't want to say just the zodiac, because the planets, the moon, the sun, yo, the whole solar system got something to do with this. You understand? With just you alone. That's why they say you got all the constellations. So everybody's pulling and tugging on not just what we call, you got 13 main chakras, 13, right? And you got each one of them is connected to one of the 13 planets, the 13 zodiacs, the 13 spheres. Everything is 13. So once you get that idea in you, is maybe a zillion other chakras, sub chakras, that connect to other things. That's where it just get complicated at. And so when you hear Buddha and all them doing purification, they talking about hatha, you got Taoism, you talking about Kundalini. This is to clear out these connections, to get these things out of there, so you be just the consciousness and get yourself out of your own body. The body is a composite of everything. That's why you water, air, fire, hot, you feel it all. Because you're made up of these things, and they have influence over certain organs, over certain emotions. You know, the moon, for instance, with its tides, it have emotional influence over you. So do the sun. So do the planets. You know, and so all of this, if you're saying you're going to be controlled by these things, you don't know who you are. That's what religion come in, to keep you asleep, so you won't fight back. You won't wake up. You just keep reincarnating and keep carnating, and keep this program going. It's actually a program. You believe it, it becomes real. Subatomic particles come together. The more people believe it, the more real it is. It's not real. But we'll get into another video about that. Now, the thing to this now, purification, like I said, is actually you coming to these understandings that I'm saying about your belief system. It plays a part as far as the law of observation. What you expect is what you're going to see. Expect nothing. This is what I'm saying. Be thoughtless. Whatever come to you, handle it. Just deal with it. How you deal with it is the God in you. You didn't deal with it. You're not you. You're not you yet. You gotta find you. So whoever's dealing with it is the God in you. Whatever God's, it's at that time where your consciousness is not in your chakra. It's rising up till to get out your crown. It gotta leave. That's why the object is to burst your crown and come out. It ain't to get up to your crown and stay there. That you get up here, you're gonna see the God, the man, the snowman looking, Santa Claus looking old man, and he's gonna crack your thing open for you to come out. That's why in Mason they got the hand coming down out the sky, calling him. He's pulling you. He's pulling you out. He's not pulling you up. He's not pulling you up in the sky. He's pulling you out your head. That's what he's doing. He opens up the top. You gotta see it. If y'all would see it, see everything. That's why I like people like Annie Basant, C.L. Ledbetter, Beta, whatever. You know, it's a bunch of them. That if you see it, you're able to see it. Manly P. Hall was one. That actually tell you got an ethereal body. This type of information helped me be above people's drama. That's right, Kwaba L. Thank you. God bless you for the donation. You know, bless you. And somebody had donated to me before. I never said thank you. That was very rude of me. And whoever it was, thank you. And I'll say it again, you know, um, Kwaba Ra'el. That's appreciated. Now, back to this. This is real. I'm trying to tell you, man. I'm trying my fan. All right. So now, with all this deception, right? And that's all that's going on. It's mad deception towards it, because they're teaching you the opposite, to hold you here. And the opposite is what you're supposed to do then. It's not what is everybody's doing. It's always going against. You know, the opposite is what it is. So the rebel in you. All right, let's go back to a little deeper mathematics. Spirit and matter don't mix. This is also known in quantum physics. You understand what I'm saying? The electrons and the protons don't make up the wave or the atom. It's the wave around it that forms a shield that makes it solid. The wave is spirit. You understand what I'm saying? Spirit and matter don't touch. They don't mix. So when you're rebellious, It's the spirit in you. It's your spirit that is doing that. It's not you. It's matter imposing itself onto spirit. Same thing I told you about when your parents try to impose their will on you and your heart chakra and your throat chakra open. That's when you become rebellious, and sooner or later you out the household, which is not your fault. And people will say it's a poor thing in the urban community, or black people always kick their kids out. It's not that. It's the child is fighting for his own individuality, his his self. Too bad they get caught up in gang shit and in love. That's it's not it, because they actually seek and that losing their individuality, they also lose confidence in their self, and insecurity kick in, and whoever make them feel good is the one they're gonna gravitate to, and that's how they take to gang and love. But if they know the God in themselves and they're born by themselves, they're gonna die by themselves. They become a one-man army, and then they get themselves ready for the real war. Instead of thinking two of y'all gonna group up and three of y'all gonna make a big world change. Look at how big all these gangs is. Look at the Million Man March. What has changed? You need to realize it's the individual, the one that makes the change, and not the group. When you see a group run, they're not gonna do nothing more than program you and put you back to sleep. You're trying to wake up. Your whole life you've been in the physical world. You're sleeping. If you want to wake up, spend time in the spiritual world. That means alone. Let's talk about the silence, since we're on the topic right now. Since you want to discuss the silence more. The silence is it. Once you start purification, you would first go and take yourself away from that society view, everything I've spoken about prior to, and give yourself alone time. This alone time is going to be the hardest thing to do, because you're going to tend to want to move, you want to itch, you want to go get some food. First thing, your ego going to pop up and tell you, nah, fuck that. I don't want to do this shit. Yo, that's enough of this, man. Let's go play with the kids. Let's go cook. Let's go play a video game. Let's put on YouTube. I could learn more faster on YouTube. No, you can't. I don't give a fuck if God came yesterday. You can't learn shit on YouTube from that. I'm going to tell you the real truth. It's a program, and you're trying to reprogram a computer. You're not real. You're a computer. Why do you think they have to keep programming? Program. Because you keep configuring yourself to fix yourself. As soon as you fix yourself, more bullshit. They drop every day. So it's like you're trying to fix yourself, but you can't, because you still remember you're in the beast sheep, and he's here to teach your ass a motherfucking lesson and get your soul and hide in that motherfucker. It's the mansion. So now you understand that when you get alone, purification starts off by you coming to terms with this and actually start deprogramming yourself from these, movements, these scratchings, these, I got to do this, the discipline. What rules, you or your mind? Keep this in mind. You don't say you're hungry and you go eat. Your body give off chemicals, and your mind detects the sensations, and then it says I'm hungry. So it's your body that tricked you. You're being tricked by your own body. The endocrinology system trick you with chemicals, and your mind thinks it. So it's not you that is running the show. So to make yourself purified is to know these things and to get back control. To purify yourself is if I come in your face and I tell you, fuck you, you're a piece of shit. And you be like, yeah, well, fuck you too, and la la la. I won. You don't know if I was a demon and I just wanted to fuck up your saint shit or your purification, and I just did, and I walk away. Ha ha ha, God is that. So you gotta know, if you didn't make yourself want to say fuck me and get out of here, don't make somebody make you do something. People's here to draw you out, to draw the demon out of you, to keep you down there. So every minute is you go to your higher self. Remember, it's a yin and yang. The opposing energy is going to be right there too. The more higher you go, the opposing energy is too. That's why the challenges get harder. It's easier it could be. You could look at Buddha sitting there with his eyes closed. Let me give you an example. What more is there easier than that? And he gets everything, food, gold, everything being placed around him. But that motherfucker sitting there can't think about pussy. Can't think about going to go fuck a girl from the back, do this and do that. It's not easy when you have somebody else in your head telling you and trying to be one of your thoughts. You got millions of thoughts. To keep your shit focused and concentrated on that one thing, that's what I said. The more you come up, like Biggie said, more money, more problems. They go together. So don't think that you're going to always have a higher self and it's clear. Purification is to be more like Constantine, to know your demons, to know what the nature of things, so you won't be subject to it. It won't cause a sensation on your skin. You know, that's why we shine. We like crystals that connects to our neurons that give our brain this holographic image of this place that we see in our mind. And so for you not to be subject to it and seeing it in the wrong way, you can't let these sensations have impulses on you that make you a reactor. That's why you go now into your five senses. If you live in your five senses, you only could react. Think about it. If you have five senses, you have to hear something for you to say something. You have to say something for the person to hear something. You have to see something in order for you to run. You have to see something for you to do this. So these is only for reacting. If you didn't see anything, you're just standing there. If you couldn't, nobody to talk to, you just nothing. Because this is only for reacting to. It's only to react to vibration. And so you get to realize, oh shit, I'm a reactor. So now you don't want to be a reactor. You want to be a creator. That means you don't let external sensations beat upon you. You actually start only doing what you think you're going to do, doing what you're going to do. Don't worry about this, don't worry about that, unless you thought about worrying about it prior to that. But you don't let something come and take you off your path, take you off your thing. These are the distractions that had to start in here and you end up over here somewhere instead of going straight. So once you learn to keep your boat on point, this is called purification, disciplining, seeing a lot of temptations, knowing that you have this bill to pay, you can't go buy this iPhone, you can't go get these sneakers, you have to sacrifice. That's part of purification. That's all purification. It's the disciplining of the mind, because all of those is illusions anyway. They know what you love. It's about your desires. So whatever you're fucking up, and it's because that's what you love to do. That's your temptations. So you have to learn to reprogram yourself, because that was a program not to love those things. If you love to, or if you always see yourself, when a girl walk past, you looking back at her ass or her shape, you got to reprogram yourself not to do that, because it's not the girl you like. It's the ass you like. That's a fetish. The same thing, you see the dude with the big muscles and you just turn and look. It's the fetish of the muscles that you like. So it don't make him special. It make him, anybody could be that muscles. So it's a fetish. I'm nobody. You want to know the individual. It takes that demon off you. Every time you get rid of one of these impulses that act up on you, for it to act up on you, it has to be in you. About do you do when people attack you spiritually to cause confusion in your life? You see, those two don't add up, because you don't let people attack you. Wisdom of Solomon coming now that you know all human beings is demons unless you've been purified. That's what this is about. What steps would you take? All right, everybody is a demon first. When you realize that you're here under a beast predator disguise, with the government giving you a program to make you act normal, hey, society boy. But behind closed door, a lot of crazy things happen. That's why we have to have the police system, and you have serial killers, rapists, molesters, masturbators, all type of crazy people doing all types of crazy stuff. Not masturbation is bad or anything, not that. I'm just saying the crazy shit that goes on behind closed doors. So now, once you realize that these things exist, you got to realize that people is not what they say they are. And this is consistent in society. So you take yourself back, because you might be who you say you are, and you do good for people, and and they keep using you. And so this transgress you. You're changing. You're going to become evil like them or tame like them, and that's what they want. But you need to stay good and innocent, the true you, because their job is to mortify your soul. Once they mortify your soul, you have to do what everybody else is doing. Be like everybody else, which is just hate themselves really, so they don't pay attention to themselves. They just doing everything else not to see themselves, pay attention to themselves. So they really running, or like my song Escape said, we don't want to face ourselves, so we seek to escape by being occupied by other things. You know, it's like eating. Most of the time we don't eat because we're hungry. We eat because we're depressed. We got too many bills. We're emotional. That's why we eat. Think about it. You don't eat because you're hungry. You eat because of situations. So knowing that is to deprogram yourself. Like every time you're going to eat, you say, why am I going to eat? Am I really hungry, or am I just programmed to do this when I feel like this? Then you will catch what you're feeling and know, what does this do to you? Don't use the food no more to cover it up. What are you really feeling that made you want to go get that comfort food? It's more than lies at procrastination. Procrastination from saying, yo, get out my house. Yo, I don't want this to happen no more. So you eat it away. When you eat it away, you then forget about it, and the problem's still there, but you change your frequency. And remember I told you, when you like a master in ascension and going up and down those worlds, you have to maintain a certain weight. You change weight, it becomes a harder frequency. You lose it, like a radio station. You tune the dial. So that's the same thing when you start eating. You turn the dial on a lot of shit you facing that is still there, but you don't see it no more because of the eating. So these is part of the purification process, giving that up, the comfort food thing, and knowing that you got to stop eating before 7 o'clock. After 7, you don't eat no more unless it's a fruit or a piece of candy or something. Aside from that, you're going to give yourself colon cancer or make yourself have a tire around your belly, which is going to slow you down, you know. So purification starts with discipline in your mind. And discipline in your mind, you know also now, you are from the United States. Nobody's from the North. Everybody came from the East. You're from the East. No matter how you want to look at it, call yourself whatever. You're from the East and was put here. You don't have indigenous food here to you. So you have to be conscious of that and conscious of what you eat. An indigenous body only eat natural foods. It's hard to get natural food in an artificial place that they put people there and built it like a dollhouse and made doll food for everybody too. But you're not a doll, you're a human being. So you be conscious of the ratio of artificial food compared to real food you eat. Not saying you can't avoid it, because some people just can't, but try to eat a little bit of low things. And I do say simple things you could eat, like such as your spinach or callaloo, or you know, anything alkaline that just could balance you out. Your shakes, your peanut punches, get almonds and blend them up. And these things put back in your body more than the actual food that we're eating or was bred and taught to eat. And get yourself enough sun. So those two will help balance out your consciousness. Once you're purified, you're more in line with telling the truth. Purification is the honesty in you, the truth in you. It doesn't mean that you're a superficial, self-righteous true person that only tells the truth that way. No, you're a hood, a straight person. Even if you're corporate, be yourself. If you don't know that part, you're going to be subject to vampires, wolves, the wolf coming in sheep clothing, and they be nice to you, and then you don't know how to say no because you're too self-righteous doing this higher self stuff. Oh, and they get you. Now you're locked into shit you shouldn't have said. You make promises you shouldn't have kept. You understand what I'm saying? So being this new you, and what I mean by being hood, is to be honest and know to say, get the fuck out of here. Hell no, I'm not doing it. Even if you're a yes person, you stop. If you're a pleaser person, always pleasing people, always doing what they do to get their merits and their credit, you got to stop that. That's not pure. That's not purification. Being honest who you are. If you evil, be evil. If you good, be good. Be yourself. You was brought here at a frequency to stabilize something. Your purpose might not be the same as this person's purpose, but you can't try to be like another person. That's a violation of universal laws. That's why you see the parent and the child fight for their individuality. It's a spirit against matter. We're back to that. So When you see rebelliousness in yourself, know it's the spirit in you. Don't think it's you. The spirit in you don't like that, and pay more attention to that. Uh, yes, yes, 111. I like that, 111. Just pay attention to yourself and say, what is my spirit trying to tell me about this experience I'm having when you're rebellious to it? And so you know it's something you got to take yourself away from, period. Don't go back to it. Don't repeat it. Don't keep on doing it. Because after a while, you get what's called spiritual disassociation, where now your spirit left you and you like a clay, a robot. You don't have no life in you. You don't have no creativeness in you. So back to the creativeness, where we was talking about with the five senses now, and you being a reactor. When you start going into finding yourself, purification, you listen to the inner intuition, the inner voice, the voice of silence. This voice of silence now is literally always there. It's like vibrating at the universal frequency of 7.8 hertz, the Schumann resonance, but you're not vibrating that. You could start now, say, you put on some violins, and it's at 144 kilohertz on the, system you're listening to, and now your vibratory frequency put your heart chakra and everything at the 7.8 megahertz frequency. Then you come with some rap song, boom, 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 you start, all of a sudden now you throw off that whole vibratory frequency, and then you're like, wait a minute, I can't see the visions no more. Oh shit, everything is blocked out for me, where everything went. That's the vibratory frequency changes. So usually through Taoism, Yogaism, they tell you to breathe first. You do the breath, the ba, where you breathe out. That brings you back to the violin one. While you're in bad situations or whatever, you breathe and you take yourself to the Schumann resonant or the zero ground, and then you're able to connect to your inner thoughts, the inspiration, the insight, the inception. Anything with the in part on the word has to do with you being a creator, something coming out of you from you listening and channeling. That's what we call perceptive thinking, perceptive seeing, where you don't need your eyes, you don't need your ears, you don't need reactors. You are something inside. And so by you listening to your intuition, this is the trick to nurturing it, to bring it to life, to make it an actual demion, a Jesus, a hologram that comes and walk into you and protects you, be you. That's who he's trying to be. But first, you got to go with your first intuition. Your intuition is that thing that tell you, yo, don't go to the party tonight. Or don't do this, have sex with him without a condom thing. He's going to make you pregnant. And you go do it, and the shit happen. You be like, damn, I should have listened to my first intuition. That's his spirit. That's the real you. That's the true you. It's warning you. But you never listen. So that now gets a disassociation from you. That's why, they say it in the Bible, thy will be done or your will be done. You got free will, and that's what you're doing now. You're doing your free will in what we call sansara or the Maya, the illusion. Your mind can't pick up only but the visible light spectrum, so you don't see what's really going on. Your ears can only pick up about a few decibels, so you can't even hear what's going on. But you want to navigate for yourself now. And that's where you make errors and live a life of errors and misjudgment and actually throwing yourself in the opposite direction from the spirit world that you're going back to world of hell or the demion side. So now once you get an idea that exists, you have to work on changing the whole perception of everything you're seeing. So the voices now, as they coming into you, it's like this now is going to be your first line of thinking before you go with your will. You would say, all right, I'll take for instance, I remember I was doing the crystals and I used to like polish them and I'm happy. Let's start here. I was happy with this. This is my first one. I call this one Seth. This is the mask of the Black Panther. See, I got the ears. This is the one eye symbolizing Ra, the one eye God right here. This is the face. You see, got the face. But anyways, this was like at my pinnacle at one time. And then soon later, I was unsatisfied. So I was, smoothing them down so I could get them better. And I tried to keep them natural. I got to this level. But then soon I learned to get them even tighter and polishing them down to this level. You understand? And so over time, you will see you got different perceptions of what your reality is. But every time when I was here, I thought this was the pinnacle, and I thought this was it. And so you move up in perception as you experience one. Thank you. That's this one. You know, I love them. They're set too. Look, it's more to it. Once I learned this took 3, 4 days. This is hand done, hand polished, hand cut, hand everything. I did this myself with my hands. I tell you. And I show you the before pictures, you wouldn't believe it. But back to this though. Now, with you understanding, your perception changes with your experience, and your every experience renders a new you. You're never the same person when you experience something. So that's why you have to be careful what you experience. You got to be aware of the three monkeys: see no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil. That's real. Because once you put it in you, it's like you experience it and it changes you. Each experience make you have these walls you build up, which is really these sheath bodies. They're invisible to you, but they're real. And nobody could get through them, and they are demions, demons, that you're going to have to get through to leave. You know, when you come out your crown chakra, which is going to be the most incrediblest journey you ever took through space, time, the Akashic, you come out of your crown into a whole Merkaba. You don't leave. Then you're in your Merkaba. Then your body, or your ethereal body, assumes the Vitruvian pose, the Vitruvian man, till you enter a new body again. Then you go back in that ethereal body, and assume that physical body. But once you're out, you're in your Merkaba, and your Merkaba is made up of all your experiences from your soul beginning till now. So it's a whole billion universe, multi-universe, with you not just visiting and exploring all universes created by everybody, not just prior before you, but while you're here, but to actually create your own universe here. Your universe that you create is created through what you look at and you admire. Your eyes, like how if you saw the video of me reflecting and projecting out my eyes, your eyes capture. If you stare at a light bulb and then close your eyes real quick, you will see the image of your light bulb in your eyes. Well, you capture that and take it to your spiritual world. That light bulb is what's called subtle energy. It's the subtle energies that actually stays. And so you have worlds upon image that you admired and you captured, and you brought it into your new universe that you're creating. And this universe is kept in order. It's a sphere that is ran by who is called Lilith and Samael. That's Chaldean. Those are the two original Chaldean signs came before the flood that we have to use. And Lilith and Samael, which is Enki or whatever, is actually the holder of the whole sphere together. It's equivalent to what's called the twin flame. It's actually, it needs it. Like in this world, it came down to us in the form of kingship and queenship. That's why you see Egypt established that with their upper kingdom and lower kingdom, and middle kingdom being the higher self, the lower self, and you. King and queen keeps the sphere together. They always have to be in this reality. Love is the glue that holds any of your dimension together. I don't care how much hate you have inside buried the love that only you know. So it's the unknown part of nature, and it always is moving. But when you feel it like you become unknown and act a fool, do the craziest things in the world. But it's the greatest feeling in the world. Nobody can tell you nothing. And people only experience it probably once in their life. You know, it's very rare people fall in love twice or experience love, period. Like a lot of people don't experience a real climax. You know, they think they climax, but they never had a real climax before. So these things is like what we have to learn, and this fear that is kept together by love is literally inside your ethereal body. You take all this information back with you. So your experiences, what you see, the three monkeys, that's why I said you have to be careful what you experience now, because a lot of people love scary movies, shot up shit, killing shit. And then you go into them as a shaman, because we go into these walls that you have. And these walls is holographic images you see just that, what you love, what your inner desires want to be, because somebody hurt you, somebody beat you up, somebody malice you, and now you want to be a police officer to get back all the people they do, or you pray in a promise to be a hero. And so these things is inside your sheath as blockages. And these blockages, when you die, you have to face them as part of like what's called a bardo, an Indian term, Sanskrit term, where you get a show played out about all your repressed spirits, everything you hold inside, you're going to play out in the most horrific, scary experience for 3 days that you call the 3 days of hell. But it has to come out. You ain't going to leave till after you experience this or start your journey through the astral. So, busting nuts for beginners. Yes. And climb are two different things. Yes, busting nuts and climaxing is two different things. Teach them, girl. That's right. Let them know. My man, vibe rational. That's two. Yeah, quad right. Y'all both right. Climaxing is what us as men supposed to take a woman to, not bust nuts. Even if the woman busting nuts, no, 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 no. You need to climax. You have to get with a God. You have to meet a God, ascended master. You can make one. You know, back in the days, women didn't go seek kings. They made kings. They turned men into gods. Y'all made these gods. Believe it or not, they get their power through you. Yeah, you have to enter the inner sun before you leave. That's a fact, Aborigine breed. And this inner sun is not just the inner sun. I gave y'all all the secrets with that reptilian, the shaman reptilian eye. Let me tell you something. Look at it, very real. It's not something that's fake, nothing affects. That is what we call in Rashicrucian sign. In actuality, you travel through phonon. What's hitting my eye is a particle of light that you see is twirling. The same thing is fluctuating images. If you was to take the video and pause it per one, it's an image changing. This is actually as above, so below when you look at a twinkling star. That's what the twinkling star is doing, is spinning the wheel of that thing, and it's showing you mad images. Now, with those images, you're traveling through one phonon of light. The light holds your soul. The light holds your consciousness. The light holds your memory. When you come back and forth, it gives it back to you. That's why you have cloud memory. They didn't make that up. The clouds hold your memory. Look at them. You want to see all the people that died today? Look at the bottom layer. You'll see them laid out, and the clouds is taken up. The next level is the animal world, the king world. It's different layers to this, that you have to study nature, and as above so below theory, what you experience is what they experience too. Connect the two. You're not you, you're them, and they're experiencing it through you. So once you know that, just be yourself. You wouldn't want to change who you are. You want to be curious to know who you are. Now, when I wrote that song I'm Legend, you see how, what would make you do a video shaman reptilian with your eyes dilating the light like that and projecting it out? What would make you do that? This is what's called experiments. When I say in there, I do experiments, like you see in the I Am Legend, Will Smith doing the experiment. You have to experiment on yourself. How would you know what you can and can't do? You just believe what they tell you. You're human and go to the doctor and you eat this food. No, experiment on yourself. Do things. Get them magic books. You're not blamed for nothing if you're trying to learn. And if you have intentions to hurt somebody, that's when it's something else. But you have the right to find out and explore who you are. And the only way you're going to find out is going back into time and to come forward into today. You can't just take it from the today. It's like reading the book from the end of the book. Your beginning of life right now is the end of the book. Think about it. So you need to go back to the beginning of the book and come forward. Catch up. By the time you catch up, you'll probably be in a whole different era. But these is the things that will help you first to wake up. Once you get this now, the clouds have been making crazy images lately. It makes sense now. Mystique, I'm going to tell you the truth. You control what you see in the clouds. You control it. Whatever you think is there is what is going to be there. Same thing when you look in the sky. Whatever you think is there is going to be there. When you look at the sun, whatever you think is there is what's going to be there. I could take my face and push it in there. If you look at my videos, not only do I put my face in there, I talk to y'all about the clouds. Go to Google. YouTube my cloud videos. I eat clouds. I can make clouds disappear in a few seconds. There's so much you could do with clouds because clouds is malleable to thought. They work off of thought. Whatever you think, that's what they do instantly. So this is a cloud right here. You see this? This is a cloud. This is also a portal. You could go through to the other side. Reflection is another world. That's the spirit that hovered above the water. So you get to understand a lot of sacred readings and writings. You have to read those and study them for a deeper meaning within yourself. The meaning is inside of you. You just have to tap in. Don't look at it as a religious way and you're worshiping. Look at it as buried treasure about your biophysiology, how you work, your body work. It's about the biophysiology. Study Manly PR, the something of man, the body of man, and they tell you everything that you read about is pertaining to a different part of your body. Close your eyes while you're sun gazing, and then draw images, and you see there's a message. Yes, that's right, Aboriginal Dread. If you stare at the sun, you will see you get a glow, a sphere glow. You could travel through there. That's the opening to the dragon and the portal. That's also the staff you see the Egyptian have when they have the staff. That's what that means. The dragon that you see is the sun. You traveling through that one ray. Keep in mind, like I said, that's one photon of light that is I'm interacting with. The same like you see a star. So that goes to tell you, by as above, so below that theory. And if you watch that shaman reptilian video with my eyes projecting the light, it goes to show you that when you're seeing it as a star, it's doing the same thing I'm doing. So it's actually, you're on a dome that is hitting something, like it's hitting my eye, and that's it. It's not a star that's there. And so if you understand these things, when you take your camera and zoom in and out on these things, and these guys be like, yo, how come the earth look this close? It's not really there like that. It's the same optical image. It's shaped like a concave, just like your eye, so that it aligns. Depth is your perception. You perceive depth. There is no depth until you perceive it. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why you could go so with these zoom lenses so close to the thing, to the moon, to the sun, but it seems so far away when you're not there because it's digital. It's more digital once it goes beyond the horizon. That's why images break at the horizon. Nobody can see what's on the horizon because we're digital on another level. And so that's the hard part for everybody to understand. All right, back to this now. So, um, with all this going on, hold on, what was we just discussing? Because we went to so many different things. Close your eyes and sun gaze while sun gazing. Yes, um, that's the like I said. To get to the other side, we were just discussing really the Egyptian symbol of when you see them stabbing the staff. That's your eye. That's the angle of your trajectory as you see the orb. You have to go through it. Once you fly through the orb, you come out in a different world. You come out in your dream world. You come out in your fantasy world. You come out where it pertains to you. The thing to it, you can't have thoughts. If you have thoughts, you're imposing on subatomic particles and creating what you expect to see. And that's what they want. But what you want to do is just experience your pure self. So have no thoughts in it, no expectations, and just experience. So you get to see what you do when you're in your higher self. Then you could just learn what you do consciously. Be conscious of what you do. You don't go there and try to explain it or make it this way or see it this way. It's already exists. It's there. It makes this world exist. So you want to go learn it by being humble, by not even disturbing the air. Just participate by observing. By you observing, you learn what you do and who you are. But by you going and imposing your will, remember you're taking a three-dimensional perspective view of life and put it in a place that's four-dimensional. It don't mix. So no, you can't never add in something to make it right in there. It's just gonna come out in this wrong way. So now back to this purification. So once you actually can isolate yourself and you start learning that who you are, your bad moods, what pisses you off. Sometimes your kids say things. You start catching your own demeanors, your own, self, how you do things. These now you start configuring to your truth. I'm not saying change yourself. Be conscious of yourself. Know when you're going to punish somebody. Know when you're going to be jealous. Know when you're going to be these things. And sometimes you'll see yourself fall back from doing these things. But if you're not conscious of it, you will impulsively act them out and then feel bad later or just don't care. Once you don't care, then you're going to keep on pushing and keep on pushing because you're covering something. Purification is you telling the truth. The truth resides in you telling it every minute of the hour, of every second. Once you cover up a lie or you agree to some bullshit, you're gonna keep agreeing to more bullshit, and then you're not pure no more. You're a fake. So you want to practice purification by actually saying how you feel inside. Your friend come too much, tell them stop coming. And if you feel like that, even this bother you, tell them. It's your spirit that's guiding you. You're starting something new. We're writing a new program, so it might not seem correct to society. It might not seem, but it's setting off a new way to put people awake and make them conscious of their own actions and look into their self. So that's what purification called for you to have the heart to, and the throat chakra to say, no, I can't, and fuck that shit, like how I got it in that song. Now, with that in mind, the second part, the next part to purification is abstaining from your sexual desires, but still recognize your sexuality. You do have to actually have some type of a discharge at some point. I'm not going to say you never spill it until you reach to a certain age. You're going to see yourself, or if you're a new jack, you're trying to switch over to Tantraism and actually stop, and you will do your increments in weeks furthest apart, then try to go for months, then 90 days, then 6 months, then a year, then 2 years. So, but now in between, just say, I was saying you could don't exhaust your semen, male, female, or whatever, for maybe 90 days. Then you're going to be this arrogant person, and it's going to come across so much, and you're going to be humping the bed and have erections because you're still programmed. This is not normal now. Don't think because you don't have sex and you see yourself thinking about it, and you getting stiffies and you humping the bed, or the panties is wet. That's because, I haven't had sex in a while. No, you was habitual. You was programmed that way, and you still programmed mentally that way. That doesn't happen. Once you get the program out of you, then you see that leaves you. You're in control of yourself now. So that's one thing you have to learn. And so I wouldn't say go cold turkey, because then you become a deceiver of yourself and you won't purify yourself, to tell the truth. So over a set period of time, when you desire sex, keep having it. Keep having sex. Keep masturbating. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. That's going to be until you had enough. That's how you stop doing something like anything else in this world. If you want to stop doing something, keep doing it a lot. The more you do it a lot, that's when you want to do it. That's when eventually you're going to say, I'm going to stop. But if you keep thinking superficially, you're going to be sneaky about it. You're going to be so perverse you don't even know you did it. And it don't have to be done in that way. It could be done, you could receive it spiritually. You could receive it mentally. A lot of people is in mental relationships, emotional relationships. You understand what I'm saying? And so when you're learning that, you will learn that taking yourself from attachments is cool. Let me read to you about attachment. I was just looking at one real quick. I just want to read to you this. This is, you know, for those that want to get it, man, this guy is the master, man. I fucks with this dude. His name is Swami. I can't even see. My eyes is Vitakanda. Swami Vitakanda. Let me tell you, bro. His books be like 1,800 pages, 1,300 pages, but he goes hard. He's straight to the point. He don't play, and all his stuff is like a straight therapeutic to help you get your soul and your spirit in order. So this is what he said that I wanted to let you hear. He says, I must be non-attached. For those who believe in God, there is another way, which is much less difficult, that give up the fruits of work unto the Lord. They work and are never attached to the results. See, that's important. You work and never be attached to the results. You can't attach yourself to things. When you attach, you put your soul onto it. That's what this is all about. So you lose the attachment, you gain your power, your will to change this world, your will to act upon matter need to be in you. So now on that note, he said, they gave up the fruits of work upon to the Lord. They work and are never attached to the result. Whatever they see, feel, hear, or do is for him. For whatever good work we may do, let us not claim any praise or benefit. It is the Lord. Give up the fruits unto him. Let us stand aside and think that we are only servants obeying the Lord our Master, and that every impulse for every action come from him every moment. Whenever thou worship, whatever thou perceiveth, whatever thou dost, give up all unto him and be at rest. Let us be at peace, perfect peace, or whatsoever. Give up our whole body and mind and everything as an eternal sacrifice unto the Lord. Instead of sacrifice of pouring out obligation into the fire, perform the one great sacrifice day and night, the sacrifice of your little self, in search of the wealth in the world. That art the only wealth I have found. I sacrifice myself unto thee in the search of someone to be loved. Thou art the only one beloved I found. I sacrifice myself unto thee. Let us repeat this daily. All right. Now, this is important for you to understand because all he was just saying is stay in the moment. I could summarize that whole thing into that. Stay in the moment. You don't have to go about it through love. If you love yourself and you really care, that's all that is important. That is the sacrifice because pre-notions, expectations, yesterday what happened is where you drift off. And so you didn't give yourself up. Like if you want to use it in his sense where he's giving it up to the Lord, which is what we call reverence. And when you say reverence now, you always have a reference point that you try to seek to as your highest, a guru, a master that you want to get to. This one will set you on a reference point of where you headed. If you don't have reverence, you don't understand the universe because you look at a child from he watch a TV show, he want to be Spider-Man, he want to be Batman. Reverence is programmed into you naturally by nature. You now go to school, you want to be the teacher, you want to be like your friend, you want to be the part of the gang, you want to be with this guy, you want to be with this girl, you want to be, you want to be, you want to be. Reverence. That's what reverence is. We all have it. With reverence come intentions. Intentions. Intentions get us into trouble. When you give up your spirituality, you seek intentions by seeing the physical world, how we talk about the physical world. When you see the physical world, you want the matter. You see the matter. You see the subatomic particle. And now you went from being at peace and oneness to figuring out how you're going to get this. So you go to school to get an education. The intention is to get a job, to better yourself. So you must feel a certain way about yourself. You can't have intentions in what you do. Do it, just do it, because you have a moment and you live in a moment. Whatever you're going to be is a destiny. Whatever you're not going to be is a fate. You have a fate, but that's not what your destiny is supposed to be. Your destiny is what you're supposed to be doing. But how would you know your destiny from your fate? Your intentions, your beliefs, all those make your fate come early. And that's what we're trying to avoid, that. So destiny now would be staying in the moment, keeping yourself open, that's your chakras, everything, to receive. Help whoever you can. Whoever you see deceitful, banish them, curse them, get them the hell out of here. Play your life accordingly, and you will see you won't live in your head. You will just be acting out the God in you and ascending on every level. Always humble yourself to even those that exalt themselves, because that's where you get your true power. Your true power comes from your breath. When you want to really do some damage, take that breath and your power come out and your spirit does everything. You could just stand there and you will see the change come. You don't have to answer a question sometimes when they ask that question. The answer is within them. And just by being quiet, they'll get it. You understand what I'm saying? So these is the energies you want to manifest now, instead of letting these impulses act upon you and control you and get you in a expectative response. It's like you acting out these categorized versions of what's offered to you as options. Once you stop these type of thought processes, you will create your own experiences. You create your reality. You create what you want. When a dog is going to attack you and you don't react, He goes and stopping his brakes because you're not emitting fear. He don't know what you're gonna do. It's a question mark because even he knows it's a matrix program. He know the cat and the dog gonna run. He know you're gonna emit fear. You got to take all these silly attributes off yourself so that you could control the matrix and the program itself. And it's all a reactive state. We give off chemicals off of reactions. And so if you don't react how the people expect you to, they don't know how to come at you. They don't know what to do. And that gives you the opportunity to create what you want now. And that's the key to this, to create. You understand? And so the purification now, let's summarize it so that everybody can get their purification going. Is actually coming to self-realization of the self, knowing it's more to you. If you didn't know you had an astral body, ether body, a soul, go and look. Believe it in yourself that you do. Keep saying to yourself, you do, you do, you do. When you hear voices in your head, it's you talking, the higher self you. Listen to it. Do what it says, even if it's new. Follow your intuition. That's your intuition, that first instinctive voice. Listen to it. Write down yourself. If you're having a problem with your bills, it's because of spending too much. Write down every dollar you spend. Keep your receipts. Write down your first check on the first of the month and write down at the end of the week how much you spend and do a deduction. Start catching yourself where you fucking up at because a lot of us spend our money and then when we get home running our pocketbook in our pocket like, yo, my money, what happened? Yo, I know I, and you spent that shit. You know you fucked it up, but you just can't get it, and you make this excuse constantly on the wheel of living weekly and living check by check. We gotta stop these things because it's part of this consciousness awakening too. Everything it holds a hand in hand with everything, and I'm not telling you to go be a slave. I'm just telling you make yourself redeem yourself. Only the elite could seek spirituality because they didn't have financial survival underneath their belt to hold them down. You understand? So for you to see your soul and your whole spirit, you can't have somebody over you. So you have to free yourself up. That's the whole point to it. Now, so purification is going to the water, clearing out a hard day of work. Actually, if you didn't know, in the daytime they grab us because in the sun you're your higher self. That's why you're good to do. At night, when it hits 5 o'clock, it's just like the movie Dusk to Dawn. You switch. You're a lycanthrope. You become a wolf at night, and so you seek pleasure. You seek desire. They let you out of work. You go straight to the bar. You have a few drinks. You want to socialize, which leads to fucking before the night is over, or just emotional time on the phone. These is what we change, and then the sun come back up. We in our higher self. They take us out of that and put us in the workplace, and we give it to other people, but never to ourselves. And that's what I want you to be aware of, that you give your higher self away to somebody when you're at work. You got to feed yourself too. You're the real true purpose of why the sun is dead and giving you this, not for you to look at his daytime and go work, even though you have to survive and you have to make a living. But on your day off or when you have time, your lunch break, go out and think about your higher self. Be in the sun and be the higher self and use it to help you gain. This world is about give and take. If you give somebody something, you're going to get something back in return. And that's how you really see who you are. Being nice to people, extending yourself. You don't know who you are. They tell you who you are. If you're a piece of shit, they be like, you're a piece of shit. If you're good, they say you're good. If you're great, if you got powers, they'll tell you. They're the judges of you. But you have to experience. And when you have certain experiences, you don't repeat them twice. You learn from every one. These is just a purification of your higher self. So once you know this in the food, eating organic food, try not to incorporate energy exchange with people too much, especially if you're not the same. Energies, let me give you a good example. If me and you is on the same level, we think the same, we're on the same higher self, we can exchange energy. Our bubbles is just going to be. But when you are a lower person and a higher person, an argument, you feel low about yourself, you're insecure, you steal somebody's energy. My energy have to feed your insecurity. My energy have to feed your lower self. My energy have to feel your. So these two type of people don't mix. You understand what I'm saying? So you will have to get away from them permanently because it causes a disorder in your magnetic field, which can cause cramps, pains, indigestion, then eventually a disease in your body. Because it's who you mingle with. You're in the same vibratory. Remember, we're vibration. If this person's vibration and your vibration don't mix, you get a disassociation in the vibratory frequency. And it's whoever is the strongest one, or and the stronger one meaning the weaker one, is going to wind up losing to this one, because his weak energy right here is needed to sustain him. So your strong energy is going to go to him, making him strong, and his weak ass energy is going to go to you and make you weak. And if you continue to do this, you're going to get sick, but he's going to raise up. But it's only temporary. You understand what I'm saying? So you're going to have to maintain hanging out with certain people, because you become what you are. I mean, what you hang out, you become those that you're around. You become what you eat. All of those is real things that play out. So you only want to energy exchange with people who's on your level. If you're giving to somebody, they should be giving back, even if it's information or just helping you emotionally. Why? But don't give to somebody who's not taking. That's right. Protect your energy. Don't waste it, because that's what they want. Every day it's about how much energy they can take from you, from the archons to the gods to the spirits. Everybody's here to take the human energy. But for you, don't get tricked up, because you need it to leave through your crown chakra. Save your energy. Why you think Buddhas and all them and the Egyptians and the Indians all just sitting there meditating? Because they're conserving their energy and using it eternal wisely through their genetics to go through. So once you understand that, that's important to know to help you through your ascension. Now, if you don't know, this is more like, you see, they got the zones right here, the different parts of you. If you didn't know, this is one person. This is, says Chaldean scheme of beings, representative of the previous classes guiding our universe. So over here, that's what it says there. You will see in you, you have what's called archangels, you got unzoned gods, planetary deities, higher demons or angels, human soul. I'll show you it. I'll bring it up big so you can see it for yourself. You know, it's the actual Chaldean words and then the actual ones over there. So in you is these things that you have to understand. All of these exist within you. You're more than just one. Can I have it? Oh yeah, you can have this. Send me an email or just link me on my WhatsApp. Can you send it to my drive? Yeah, yeah. But however, I don't know how you're gonna link. Oh, that's Mosey. Okay, Mosey, I got you. I got you. Yo, Mosey, hold on. Let me show you. I need to show y'all. Like, I've been experimenting on some new concepts too. Let me see. I remembered I showed Mosey this. He loved this. You remember this was your star stone. This is so pretty. Like, if you can see this up close, it's so beautiful with all the different chakra stars in it, right? Now, the thing with this, right, I have found some more similar, and let me see how this look right now. This one right here, if you can see this, I got them where you see the patterns is coming in on the bottom. These things will make your ears ring, and just staring at the beautiful pattern, you'll get like ascension coming. It'll start activating you. I noticed these patterns do that. So I've been working with these patterns to take them into like a spiritual direction. So let me see. Is this it? So I got them in big, like this one is beautiful. Look at this. It's like, if you could see it, it's sparkly and mad shiny, and the color is like an orange. It looks orange if you could see it. It's really beautiful, man. But you see these patterns that's on it? It's so nice. But these is like the same ones but much more bigger now. Now also I'm working on concepts with fossil crystals. Like I'm making up my own line of crystals. Like I want to do these. You see how they look? These is gonna be like fossil crystals. These give you protection. They're actually protection pieces that you're gonna wear as amulets on your bracelets and as charms. They're very shiny too and glossy. So I've been working on like a whole bunch of them while I'm waiting for my permit to be approved. So just stay tuned. I got some stuff coming, but I just wanted to, let me see. Oh, I don't want to get into too much of that right now. I want to stay focused. You see, it's hot in here. All right, so if you send me your email and all that, or hit me up on my WhatsApp, you could actually get this. I give you the whole book. It's the Chaldean scheme of things as far as demions and stuff. Let me see. I had told y'all about the third law of thermodynamics. That's what we have read about. I have posted it too with how we exchange energy between each other. And this energy exchange is what causes a lot of our lower selves to appear out of nowhere, and we are stuck in it. All right, now over here, I got this outlined here. I'm reading from, what's this? C.J. Young, the psychology of Kundalini Yoga. In this one, he says, yet the chakra, apparently the most important gesture is that is of dispelling fear. And I covered that so you could see the chakras is for dispelling fear, if you see it right there. And so once you open up your chakras, you start your journey to facing your fears. It's an inner tunnel, a long tunnel, like you see the wormhole. We make wormholes. I first started making wormholes 3 years ago. Let me tell you real quick what a wormhole is so that y'all know. This is from real stuff. Wormholes is like taking the air and you compress it one this way and you compress it this way. It start looking like a pre-diamond, like you're looking for a diamond. Then you compress it again this way and you compress it again this way. And it keep on being like a diamond. And you compress it again and you compress it again. And then when you put your magnetics mind onto it, it goes doo, and it just forms like a neon green tunnel with lines like matrix pattern and net. And once it opens up like this now, the only thing you see is a spinning ball is in it, but it's like this way now, and it's a light ball, and it's like going straight through. And once you're going through, all these side views is like of places, I don't know, wherever your experience has been, start playing out as you're going through. And it curves, it turns, or sometime as soon as you make the wormhole, there's a being on the other side, which is we're actually in those zodiac things that you see. When you see the constellation represented by the Virgin or Leviathan, those is real. They're an astral being that protects that whole constellation. And so as above so below, you have an astral being that protect you. That's why, like in the you could say in the necromancy and the Necronomicon, you see the different beings that is like sitting, like you see the Duke Astroff sitting on a dragon or some type of lizard looking thing. He's riding them with his tail. Those is actually the protectors of the universe you're in, the dimension you're in. And then you have one around your body that protect your body in one by one too. All right. Okay, now on this part now, the same page that I'm reading from, which is the Psychology of Kundalini by Jung, it tells you that, I'm going to let you see first and then I'll read it to you. He says the Kelsa or the Chitta is in the four forms of aspect, the Shitula, meaning rough coarse aspect, and hold on, the shukma or subtle aspect, and the subtle or shusk, Shuksma, sukma aspect of Devesa. Devesa is the power to be a separate personality. That is the metaphysic force that creates or makes possible the personality. You see, But the what he said, the shula, shula aspect of the woman we experience in ordinary life that is mixed with the hatred has to dissolve. So you get to see that in you, right? You have this personality that has an individuality to it, and it's its own power. You understand what I'm saying? That power actually is what you're trying to tap into. Hold on 1 second. Let me get a tissue. There we go. That's a little better. A little hot now. So you get to understand that actually your individuality is a force, and that force actually moves you. Um, I have a whole bunch more that I'm gonna start running off to you, so you get to understand. For you to get like a good understanding, it's good to study shamanism. I want to explain to you the shamanism because all of us is more a shaman than you would say angel or different being because those is who you are as you go through different sheets. To be the shaman is to be the physical person, consciously knowing that you're all these things, and you could acquire them, or you could portal to each one. Then you're the shaman, knowing that because you're also here in society and you're helping. You're not just proud or egotistically saying you have to do these things. You actually, a healer, a light worker. People come to you for help. So once you learn all these gifts and you purify yourself, to be the shaman now is the last part. The shaman, he can't actually say you had a disease, an ailment, something you wanted help for. He can't help you today and then 15 minutes later go help somebody else. For the shaman, he has to purify himself. When he comes into your astral, into your sheath, he sees many, like a wood that has all the different bandwidths in it used. And say it was you that is the smoker, and you hired him to take out the smoker in you or to help you with your smoking. He sees the smoker image of you, and he extracts it out of you. Once he do that, your habit it goes away. Your desire for that goes away. You won't smoke no more. So once you get to understand, he is in your macabre and he comes out your macabre. When he comes out, he still have contamination. Sometimes you got the attack from the gatekeepers. Each bandwidth has a gatekeeper called a magnetic field. That's what a gatekeeper is between each color to make a color appear to you. And so you will see that when you leave, you wear these spirits like somebody sending you their negative energy or you sharing the energy in a circle with one person. All of these now comes back on you, and that's called a scapegoat, energy exchange, energy blockage. You have to take it off. So the shaman has to purify himself from dealing with customer A before he deal with customer B. Else you'll bring customers A's gatekeepers and issues to customer B because he's going inside of them. But this doesn't occur with the shaman. The woman is the shaman, and when she has sex with this person, with that person, with this person, and then purify herself, that's the same thing she's bringing onto herself spiritually. And it works more psychologically because she starts having these crazy thoughts, crazy personality disorders because she wears many people personality and not her true self. And when this happens, you get a lot of cover up, a lot of mask wearing because she don't want to face her true self. So, anyways, once you realize purification now is your interaction with a human being. If they're belligerent, acting crazy, unlike you have to go take them off of you once you leave that. You can't just go home to your kids and think that your kids will wear it. Your household will be with that energy. So you will go and purify yourself first through some type of meditation, some type of breathing technique, calm yourself back down to the 0 point level and let that sheath leave you, let that energy leave you. That's purification of like your inner self that actually is not in your aura no more. And when you do that, you will see that you just be more the truth, more acceptable of things, and more projecting of energy. I'll give you an easy example of what I mean. Now, say you with your girlfriend and you see your girlfriend cheat on somebody, her man or her husband, and you hold that inside and you go home with this, you wear this. You're the one suffering and you're the one messing up everybody else because your frequency's in the sense of truth. Not that it's actually wrong what she's doing. That don't have nothing to do with it. It's the capacity that you're holding something you can't say. Ah, that's what this is about. So that becomes something dark within yourself. And it creates its own energy, its own entity, another world that you don't want to create. So sometimes, like I said, see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, got you having to stand up for what's right. Like, yo, motherfucker, you're gonna go do that shit on your own time. Don't bring me in it, don't have my, I don't want to experience this. You understand what I'm saying? That alone is good enough to make it that when you go home, you be like, yo, you know Jennifer was doing this dumb shit, and so you're pure. When your energy's out pure, you good. But if you gotta regulate what you're saying, you gotta think, cause you don't want to fuck up something or something. You got a lot of purification to do, man. It's a lot of things inside of you you need to let out. When you let it out, it's taking all of this and things off you that's not you. You want to be the real you. Once you become the real you will see you as somebody else other than what you was doing what they wanted to do. You were saying things so you won't hurt them. You was doing things that make your life easy. But that's not how life is supposed to be. With everything you experience, there's a challenge to it, and you got to understand that. What's the real challenge here? And it's not to be subject yourself. Sometimes an asshole boss, by you standing up for yourself, make him look into himself and change him, and he respect you now, and you get a promotion, or he see you outside workplace and buy you a beer because he say you real. You got to understand the by you making conflict, you bring about change. By you making conflict, you make a person look into themselves. By you stirring up the water a little bit, you make a person look into themselves. And that's all this is about. Making the program being conscious that it's a program. Once it knows that, then it's going to try to change itself and become a spirit again, or it's a true conscious self. But if we feed into that, we ain't going to know. Thank you so much for this lesson, much needed. Yes, Gabrielle Bradford, definitely. Y'all definitely welcome. You know what it is. And when breathing, don't forget to tighten the nut sack to rise the energy. That's right. And some people do the asshole too. You're supposed to take the asshole and I don't know. I guess that thing with it. You know what I'm saying? My shit is connected, so. But I do study with a lot of people, and they put me on to all type of energy work. I got this friend. They're, see, we all over the world working with the best, the masters, doing this course and that course, got everything in Reiki, Kundalini, this. So they always try to test my energy, like, okay, they're gonna do this to me, and they want to see what it feel like. So I go, all right, come on, and I feel whatever they're doing a little this, but they go through so much breathing and huffing and puffing and doing these things and chants and putting their fingers together, and I could stay just like this. Let them do what they do, and then just do one thing like this and fuck them up. I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna check this chakra. You ready? So just like I'm like this, I do it right there. Like, oh my God, how you do that? You ain't even do nothing. You ain't even do. I'm going, I'm do your heart now. Ready? I'll do your eye now. You ready? Do your nose now. You ready? I do every without doing nothing. Just do like this. That's where I'm at with my stuff. There's nothing I need to do. No breathing, no nothing. You understand? So that's how it really works when you ascend yourself, when you purify yourself. Your mind is one with everything. The mind is absolute. But when you doing aspect of everything, remember the breathing is psychological. The mantras are psychological. It's to set off certain chemicals in you to set you to a certain frequency of vibration. If you could just stay at peace, any intention you have is instant. Anybody who's trying to do something is instantly protected. You're right there in it. We're one. Everybody's one. It's the one who separate themselves that has all the problem. So you can never do nothing to me as long as you separate yourself. You can't affect me if you're separate from me. You only can hurt yourself. So that's how it goes. You know, it's like you stalemate yourself. So, but once you connected and you know you connected to everything, you could affect everything. Then you a threat to me. You understand what I'm saying? Then you could affect me. But as long as you think you separated, you only could hurt yourself. So on that note, it's good for us to unite your thoughts, and understand everything. Understand that each experience is not your cause. Be like, what the universe is trying to tell me here. We living in the moment. So if you're in the moment, you're like a taxi driver waiting for a customer to get in your car. Okay, what am I supposed to do with this person now? So they come in, yo, let's go to the store. All right, why are you coming to get me to go to the store? What do you want? Why I gotta go to the store with you? What happened? Oh, I just want you to come with me. Now your choices is gonna determine your future. All right, come on, let's go. And next thing you know, this jump to this jump to that, this jump to that. So you gotta be careful out there. This is how where we're at now. Details is everything. Speaking of details, let me show you. Is anything here? I've been having some weird experiences lately. I do my sanding and my crystals myself. Let me see if I find one of my sandpaper. You want to see something weird? Watch this. Hold on. I done moved everything around, but I'm gonna show you what's going on with me, man. I don't do this on purpose. I just take the sandpaper and I do it. I'm gonna show you this one first. This is just a sandpaper that I sand. Do you see what's going on here? I'm like, yo, I had to put this down, and they showing right now themselves. You see the black boy right here, and the little one right here. Yo, I be sanding, and these people just start popping up on the paper. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna break this all the way down. Look at it sideways. Let me go from. I'm gonna show you it from all angles. From this angle, it's a boy laying down. Over him is an angel. You see the angel over him? Touching him with one hand. He's laying there with the hat on. Down on the bottom, on the small bed, is somebody in the bed. And the angel is touching both of them. It's two beds with two people laying down. See the bed? I know because I remember this experience. This was a dream. So you see this image that's on there? If you can see it, the hat, his face is there. Now if I turn it this way, that's when you see the boy with the one eye covered. This is where I'm from. This is my dimension. See the hand? This is the shoulder. See it right there? One eye covered, one eye showing. Alright. And then you see one smiling here. This is just this paper. Now I'm going to turn it this way for you. Because at this angle now, I got to go from here. I'm going to do this way first. From this angle, you see the Titan mask. You see the black face right here. You see this face in here? They're together, the two faces. And this is just one image, right? I just want to show you. All of these things come out like this. Look at this. This one is a hole in it. But look, how is this possible? It's like a woman face in there with the hair and everything. Alright, so I got a whole bunch of these, man. That, like, once I start them, I gotta, can you talk about manifesting your thoughts and bringing them to reality? Alright, you want to learn how to do that, Aboriginal in the Dead? Let me just add that in before we end this, okay? How you manifest your thoughts and bring it into this reality? I'm going to write it as a subject matter that I'm going to do. Alright, how you manifest your thoughts into this reality? I first started learning that, like studying the occult. And I had to study the occult because I was losing my mind what I was seeing with all these stuff like I just showed you. And nobody else was seeing this stuff. And so I was alone. And I couldn't turn to religion. It wasn't like that. And so, only place that I found the same information in line with me was in the occult. I knew everything occult without knowing it because I was seeing it. And so I just knew it. And so now, once all that started becoming available to me, I really wanted to, like, make people understand that there's a side of us that is going through things that we don't know. We're evolving. And when you go through these evolutions and bring about different sides of you, and you just start knowing things, or you just understand things instinctively. So with that in mind, I started reading a lot of books on, like, I don't know. To me, it was manifesting, but it was called clairvoyance. Clairvoyance is the true manifester, and it kept taking me to the Yahe Vahe of the Tetragrammaton, and learning earth, air, fire, water with such people as I can't remember his name at this second. I'll tell you. Opal. I think his name was Opal. He had a lot of books too. But now, when you get down to the bottom line, this is how it works. It comes to the Tetragrammaton being air, fire, water, earth. If you look at it in those systems, it's like you take an air, condensing it, let it cool down to liquid and then to solid. That's thoughts. When you're talking about thoughts and manifesting it in that concept of Yahe Vahe, you're talking about the Tetragrammaton. It's a symbol, like a amagram in your mind, right? So now you want to picture this in your head, these thoughts. And the way it's going to work is, when you go into meditation, whatever you do in the astral come down to the physical. Everything is astral and run the physical world. You can't change this world. For you to change this world, you go up into the astral world. Change the astral world, and the physical world change. So if you're not a ascended master to know that, you'll be down here fighting nothing, because you can't change nothing from down here. You have to change it from up here. So being that you change it from up here now, Tetragrammaton, Yahe Vahe now becomes the formula. You imagine something. When you imagine it, you will it now into actually condensing into like a form. The more you can see your beginning, your end, the more it's more closer to being a perceptible reality. Once you're able to see it and make it into your reality, as far as your beginning and your end, that will include now earth, air, and fire, condensation. It's now to make it your reality. To make it your reality, it's like you need an explosion, which is the will shocking the astral. Only way I could think of it, and I could tell you without actually giving away too many secrets, is through sex. Use when you come in to start. You could figure it out from there. The rest you could actually will yourself through any type of force that you want. Your imagination, make the picture. You have to make the picture. And the picture now actually has to have an explosion into the astral. Your explosion is your will. That's a clue. I'll give you the biggest clue in the world. Will is an explosion. Anything you do, that's will. Your will to want to do something is an explosion into the astral. So will your image into there, but you would put the image in your head, manifest it, see the beginning, see the end, and through passion, desire, you bring it into your reality. Can you talk about let me see. As above, so below. That's right. Yes. So that should give you an understanding of how you manifest thoughts into reality. Now let me tell you about an unconscious way we fucking up. Thought forms. Anything you think is a thought form. Remember this. What we're talking about is more magic than I just taught you, than actually bringing thoughts into reality. Anytime you think, you make one into reality. You create it in the astral or another zone, the lower level. So thought forms, if you Google the word thought forms, you see anything you think become a form. So now, you're always creating thoughts in thought forms. But what you want to do when you're saying, like you said, manifesting your thoughts and bringing them to reality, that's the thing. I wanted to separate thought and thought forms. Don't think that you have to make it. I'm looking at it like if you seeing something, an image, you have to will it and you make the image. No, if you start thinking, boom, that image comes. That come really first, and then you start thinking. It's like if I want you to go pee, and I'm in your subconscious, I would show that the bathroom sign. When you see the bathroom sign, you're like, oh, I gotta go pee. That's it. That's how you work. Your God know what triggers you inside of you and what would make you move. So they show you that image in your subconscious. But it might not be the image you think that it relates to what you're doing, but you would know it for that image. It's bugged out because I do it. They do it to me all the time. I work off the subconscious images because as I show you the video of the reptilian, it's the same way. I don't meditate. I always tell you I don't meditate with my eyes closed. That's why my eyes got that strong magnetic field now. It took many years of stinging, 4 years of stinging and pain and torture to be able to do what they did. And it's them that told me that 4 years ago you'd be able to project through your eyes. Just trust me. And I've been trusting them because everything else has been coming through them that we've been saying. So with that in mind, you could project through your eyes, and these projections is actually thought forms. These thought forms is actually always there with you. It's to get rid of your thought forms. If you're going to use it for willing, like how you said it, bring it into your reality, it's actually taking the thought form, drawing it on paper, um, taking it in the astral and throwing it away and forgetting about it. Because if you observe subatomic particles, the wave drops. Once the wave drops, your law of attraction is dead. So you just push it out and forget about it, and it goes to its designated place through where? The moon. The moon transmutates thought forms. That's what happens at night. We get the moon. The sun put together a whole bunch of radiation to cause these guys to be our thought. And at night they transmutate back into the guys through the moon, through radiation. You understand? Why you think? Have you ever noticed clouds chase the moon? Same thing with the sun. The 5 o'clock sun always have the clouds chasing it down because they're being transmutated. And the same thing with the moon. They transmutate back. It's like a cycle of thoughts being refurbished back and forth. And you understand? So once you understand that, that's why people use the moon to do all types of rituals. And the moon, they corrupted now because of that. No, I didn't have this in part. Y'all was hearing me far away. But that's really it. That sound clearer? Alright. I forgot about this. Good thing the car came and instinctively picked this up. But that's the reason why it's important to understand these things. So as the shaman now, he's in between all these worlds. Instead of him just being just a person who does like the Necronomicon, we got the Kabbalah, you got Chaldean magic, you got the same system that's been categorized, compartmentalized, and packaged up that goes from West Africa to the Masons, to the Kabbalah, to Judaism, to Christianity. It's all a package of the same magic. So you don't want to learn a package. You want to learn the mind of the magic. You want to be the mind. Use the power source. So if I was to say to teach you Necronomicon or the craft, I would have to go say, all right, we're going to use the Kabbalah system. We're going to use the Golden Dawn system. It's a system. A system to what? Psych out your psychology. Psych out your chemicals in your mind because everything is coming out of you. If you know natural magic and the true science, you can do all of those by just your thoughts. Your thoughts control all of them, but you first have to purify from you being the superficial you so you have your power back. Once you have your power back, your thoughts become like an atomic blast through your will and imagination through them. So what I'll do is I'm gonna make a part 2 to that. If you want me to continue on with the thoughts that how to manifest thoughts into reality, I could do some reading from you from Paracelsus, and it'll give you some insight into actually how it works and the science of it, because I had to learn it because I was experiencing it. I didn't learn it to use it. I just had it, the ability to do it. And it was weird and I wanted to understand it. So I'm searching through and bang, I found it. And so I can help people now, not only to develop it and understand it, but to recognize it when you're doing it. It's very important to understand that. So, on that note, I'm gonna come back on again for the evening shift, and we chop it up some more. Now, I wanted to tell you, if you want subject matters for me to discuss, it's easy for you to just put that in the comments, and I will discuss those subject matters, because I don't want to discuss only what I want to talk about. You could ask me about anything, and I'll get it back to you. All right. So, on that note, we're gonna just end this off for now till like around 7 o'clock. I'll be back on, and we get back on at 7. All right. University of Conscious Science. One love.